It's going to be hard times. It's going to be troubling times. That's what we're living in right now. And I watched this man just cry out to the world and say, hey, somebody need to do something, because if y'all don't, we will. And when we do, it's not going to be good. And right now, he's going through this thing in the world now, well, guess what? Israel is getting their bombs ready. They got these nuclear facilities. They are enriching. They don't care what the world thinks, just like nobody else does. They don't care. They're going to do what they're going to do anyway. And everybody talking about sanctions and all that, guess what? It's written. It's going to happen. You can't stop it. It's going to happen. So you might as well just get ready for it. Embrace yourself and get closer to God. One of the things I want to try to explain to people, it seems like to me, most people don't view things the way, I don't know, I guess I see it. I cut my teeth basically on the book of Revelation. That was one of the things that it stuck with me. I guess that's why I am who I am, I became who I am. And once I started understanding, when I started understanding the word and the scriptures, it started making so much sense to me. What you got to understand is that when John was writing the book of Revelation out of Patmos, this man was using a 2,000-year-old education trying to describe 2008, 9, 10, 12 technology. So when he said, I saw a lion with eagle's wings, and I saw a bear, I saw a leopard, he wasn't actually seeing animals. What he was seeing was nations that were represented by those animals. By now, if you don't know, I'm sure everybody knows America is an eagle. The lion is Great Britain. The bear is Russia. But the interesting thing most people understand is that the leopard. That leopard had 4 heads. He said one of those heads was wounded unto death. And then the enemy gave power so that the dead won't heal itself. And then the whole world wondered after the beast, saying, who can make war with the beast? Or a system like that. Those animals are represented by nations. Like I said, America's the eagle, the bear is Russia, the lion is Great Britain, and the 4-headed leopard is Germany. The interesting thing about the leopard is this. He said one of the heads was wounded unto death. What people don't understand, he said that those animals are nations. They're represented by the nations. And the leopard, he said, Germany had plunged the world in the war 3 times. The 3rd time was Hitler's Third Reich. And said the whole world got together and they split Germany in half. He said one of them was wounded unto death. And then the deadly wound healed itself. The Berlin Wall was that deadly wound. And then you got Gorbachev and Bush get on TV, knock down the Berlin Wall, the New World Order, New World Order. Oh my God, no, what's all this chlorine? Look on the back of the dollar bill. New World Order, New World Order, and then the whole world wound up in the United Nations. The United Nations is the end-time governmental system of beasts that's combined with all of those different nations that will be in control of the world or the government of the world in the end time. That's what John was seeing. I'll give you another example. Just like when he said those locusts. John wasn't looking at locusts, red grasshoppers. Those were the best way to describe what he was seeing. What John was seeing, he said, I saw these locusts. But these locusts had face of men. He said they had wings that were long like a woman's hair. He said they had breastplates of iron. He said they spit fire from their tail and from their mouth, and they torment men. He said their wings sound like many chariots coming to battle. Well, to him, guess what? To his time, those all he could probably describe with locusts flying and crawling on the ground and in the ocean. But guess what? What he was looking at were attack helicopters, jet airplanes, tanks, and ships. Because these things were big, and they had, all you could see was the face of the men. Their wings were long. He said they had breastplates of iron, and they spit fire from the tail and from their mouth. Think about it, attack helicopter. Just think about it. If you have been trying to describe things that are happening in our time, in our world, you wouldn't be able to call them by the name that we call them. But that's why he said you got to study to show thyself approved. That's why he said my people perish for lack of knowledge, because there's no reason or excuse why anybody in America don't know what time it is and see the events and see the things that's happening in our life. But most people are closed a blind eye. Most people, like he said, it's going to be like leading sheep to the slaughter, the blind leading the blind. That's what's going on in our country. And John did the best. He tried to describe it the best way he could, but some things in Revelation are left up to interpretation. Some things are literal, but that's why you got to know and be able to watch. That's why he said, watch. He said, those with spiritual eyes see, and let those with spiritual ears listen to what the Spirit of the Lord is saying. Because he said, those who are in spirit and truth. He said, worship me in spirit and truth. That's why he said, I give you all the tools you need so that you can be before eternity. Some use the talents to give the praise to him, but the rest of them act like they're ashamed of him. That's what's going on in our country. I just want to give y'all some examples of, well, really like what's going on. I mean, it's funny to me, I've watched, and it's just over the years, I've seen how black and whites, Republicans and Democrats, we can all come together and we can, you know, it's like we divided and together all at the same time. We work together, go to school together, we do all these things together, we even go to church together. But then when it comes down to I guess God or whatever, it seems like that's where we start to divide and separate ourselves. It's like, how do you have blacks and whites, Republicans and Democrats, all these same people be in the same places, worship, but then yet be so divided when it comes down to God and to the things of the world? That just kills me. For example, I know there's going to be some issues, man, that's going to touch some people the wrong way, but guess what? The truth hurts. Think about it. I've seen this country change from the 60s, the 70s, and 80s, 90s, and now we're in the 2000s. And I've seen where there are things that were, think about how you go from a time where things were illegal in this country. I mean, there were times where alcohol was illegal. All of a sudden they decided alcohol ain't illegal no more. Now because they found a way to tax it. Abortion. Oh my God. Boy, look what number the devil has done on us. Abortion. The right to choose, right? I look at it like this here. For an example, let's take two women, take 3 months pregnant. One guy shoots one in the stomach. The guy's going to jail for murder, kills the baby, he's going to jail for murder. Another woman, 3 months pregnant, walks into a doctor's office, and she gets an abortion for murder, and she gets to walk away. He gets to get off into his Benz, drive to his mansion, and everything is all good. I have a problem with that, and I'm pretty sure God does too. Because the way I see it, there should be 3 people going to jail. The first woman didn't have a choice because that person made a choice and took her baby's life. But that woman that went in that doctor's office, she made a choice, just like that doctor made a choice. But why aren't those two being punished? It's still a baby, it's an unborn baby that's being murdered. And God said, you'd rather take a millstone and tie it around your neck and throw yourself into the ocean before you hurt one of his little ones. And all of these people are going to pay for all of it. They're going to pay for that. Trust me, God has not forgotten that. That's something that America is going to be paying for a long time. Then you look at the thing that happened over there in California where these kids gang raped this little girl. Man, we've gotten so far gone in this country to where, you know what, people just, I remember a time where people used to care. You didn't see that type of thing happening in our world. Then you had little kids beaten to death in Chicago. Man, what are these people thinking about? I mean, it's like people don't value life.